friends. So I am down here on the floor in preparation for today's practice. We are going to do floor work. One of the really cool things about the pandemic, yep, I said it, there's a lot of crap, a lot of suffering and pain, but one of the really cool things about it is that many of my teachers and teachers I admire are doing classes online on Zoom, and I have access to them again, which is super cool for me. I have been doing some of T.S. Little's classes, and he super inspires me, and so this is inspired by him through my lens, yeah? So you're gonna take a blanket and put a blanket over your mat. I still have my mat, so I have that frame underneath me and that little bit of cush, but I wanna be able to slide on my sticky today, right? So put a blanket down. If you don't have a mat, just put a blanket down, you're fine. And you could just do this on the carpet. There's gonna be a section where maybe you might want a strap to be able to access pulling down by your foot. So you can always grab a waist belt or a rope or some such thing for that, right? So hit pause if you need to. Get yourself all set up. Come on back to your mat in quotes if you don't have a mat. You can always pause it and start up again, and we'll meet you here. You're gonna bring your hands down, feed the elbows down, and when you come down, don't just plop. Roll through each one of your vertebrae, letting those elbows just kind of slide out away from you. Let's have our feet on the ground for the beginning of practice today. Instead of having them all the way back to you where there's big compression in the back of the knee, that's not a bad thing. We're just working differently. Walk your feet a little forward so there's a little space behind the knees where that gap is. Maybe walk your feet out a little wide and lean the knees in. I don't bring mine to touch, but some people do, right? I just lean mine in a little bit. You can find out what feels groovy in your hips, what softens them. Do that one. Arms can be out, palms up or down. Let's just take a few breaths here to start. So I'm gonna keep my head turned towards camera just for filming purposes, for my voice. Your face would face up towards the ceiling, so you have a neutral neck spine, yeah? With the eyes closed, tune in, feel the weight of those bones. We've been working with that lately in classes, feeling the weight, the heaviness of our bones, the densest material in our body. Feel your organs and let them have weight. Stomach, spleen, pancreas, intestines, right? Heart, lungs, you name it. Brain, let the brain have weight. Muscles, ligaments, tendons, fascia, tissue, blood, cells, all of it. You are still a live and vibrant human being, but let the matter of your body have weight and sink to the earth. Check into that breath before we move too much. You want that soft belly breath to start, the diaphragmatic breathing, right? So that belly is so soft that when you inhale, the belly floats away from the spine. And when you exhale, that belly floats back down towards the spine. So explore the breath, and then use the breath to explore the body. And maybe starting to play with having slight pauses. So there are 4 parts to the breath today. Inhale, slight pause, exhale, slight pause. As many of you know, I've been trying to get us trying to help us calm our central nervous system down, which has been super hyper vigilant and on high alert. And so we're going to continue with that vein, right? Keep the immune system, I should say. Go ahead and tee those arms out now. Just slide them up. Try not to pick them up. Let them have weight, right? That's part of the reason we have the sticky mat. Take an inhale with the next, so the knees are going to go over to the right. So we're not walking the feet out wide like we usually do for windshield wiper. Inhale the knees up and exhale the knees over to the left. Inhale up. Try to move slow. Cultivate the breath. And this is our pattern for a little bit. Exhaling the knees over to the right. You can feel that little arch in the low back. You might even accentuate it. And inhale up. And exhale as the knees go to the left. Again, you might find that natural curve in the low back and accentuate it a little bit. Keep doing that. Now an add-on. Maybe you turn your head the opposite way. So when the knees go to the right, the head would turn to the left. And And then when the knees go to the left, the head would turn to the right. I'll keep encouraging you to slow down, right? You don't want to go so slow you feel stressed out, but we don't want to keep that zippy, hyper-vigilant, excited nervous system. We want to start to slow that down. The best way I know how is the breath. And again, you're turning your head. I'm keeping mine towards camera just for me, for filming reasons, right? For videoing reasons. I'm not filming, I'm videoing. And then after you've gone to the left the next time, that'll be your last time to the left, you'll go ahead and you'll bring those knees back up to your center and pause. Those arms can come down a little bit. You can have your face towards the ceiling, head on the mat with full weight. The next part, we'll interlace our hands and we'll bring our hands behind our head, right? From here, we're gonna slide. So I'm not picking up my body to move it. I'm literally sliding my elbow up to the back corner of the mat, right? And coming back through center, alternating, sliding the other direction, other elbow lifts up, and to center. Find that breath, work with that breath, and again, try to leave the arms and the head and the shoulders super heavy. Try not to let them lift off the mat, simply slide them. My friends with tighter shoulders, your shoulders, elbows might not make it to the ground like mine do, and that's okay. Just let them go to wherever it is that their stopping point, I'll call it, is, and try not to lift them up from that place. So we're starting to move into the side waist, right? As I move my right elbow up, I'm compressing or contracting my left side as I open my right side. And if you want to start to go on that exploration of your body, think about your spinal column. When I move my left elbow up, I'm lengthening the whole left side of my spine and opening it up, and I'm compressing my right side of my spinal column, my vertebrae and my discs, right? So you might play with that in your mind's eye. What's happening in your spinal column as you move through this? Keep that beautiful breath going. Let that be just as important as the movement. And then coming back to center, releasing the arms down, pause, taking that moment. So today in the class I taught on Zoom, right, I was talking about how, I'm not going to get the quote quite right, but Viktor Frankl has a beautiful quote that's between stimulus and response, there is a pause. So stimulus happens. We have a moment in that pause to choose how we react, how we respond. And right now, why we are so in fear mode and scarcity and strain and hypervigilant, etc., all of these things, right, usually, or not usually, often the wretched side of our personality comes out. That's not a bad thing. I'm not calling you a wretched person. I'm saying this is when those things come up, right? When someone says something, you just snap at them. So pause. Take a breath, right? And then let's go ahead and go to the next movement. So for this one, you'll tee the arms out again. You'll let the legs extend all the way out to straight. And then it's a pretty simple movement. I'm going to start on the left side because it's closest to camera, but you can start on either side. You'll pull the heel back, letting the leg go out to the side. Again, yours might look higher than mine, that's okay. And you'll push it back down. Dragging the other heel up and back. So think half frog and pushing it down. For my friends who know Supta Baddha Konasana, we're doing half of that on the breath with motion, right? Then just page through that a few times. Your head would be, your face would be towards the ceiling. Again, I'm turning mine to the side because I want to keep my voice clear for you. I'm going to have to do another sequence with my head the other direction, so I turn my head the other way for a little bit. Find that beautiful breath, and again, are your pauses there? Inhale, slight pause. Exhale, slight pause. And I don't know what side you started on, right? But whatever side you started on, do about one more, finishing on the other side. And if you don't remember, it's really not that big of a deal at all. You'll let the legs extend out and you're going to pause there. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move into another twist, right? And we're going to see if we can't move it from our hips to a little bit further up in our spine. So both knees will start to bend over to my right side body. And go up as high as is comfortable. And then they're going to slide back down and out. and then they'll slide up towards my left side, and then they're going to slide down and out. So here's our pattern. Find your breath. Be willing to work a little slower today to work with that breath as much as possible. If you want to add a piece into this, your head will turn the opposite direction of whatever way the knees go. So when your knees go to the left, you would turn your head to the right. And when your knees go to the right, you would turn your head to the left. So play with that for a couple. And then the next time that your knees go up and to the right, maybe that left leg goes a little, that left knee comes up a little higher, even as the right leg stays put. And I send it out. So now you can see it better on this side. When I bring my knees up to the left, I might pause my left leg and hug my right knee a little closer. I can still turn my head the opposite direction. That's still on the table. Each time we do this, we'll just add another element, keeping everything we've done before this moment. Yeah? That said, we're going to add another little piece on. So, the next time you go to the right, I'm actually going to turn this way. I think it's going to be more beneficial. The next time the knees come up and to the right, your head might turn to the left, by the way. You're going to go ahead and you're going to extend that top left leg. Now, you can either take a strap around that leg, or depending on your flexibility of your hamstring, you might be able to grab the foot. So they're both on the table. You can do whichever one feels the best for you, right? But push that heel out and away. Now, even as this leg, notice my foot's off the ground a little bit, right? I'm going to have it about the height of my hip, and then I'm going to try to wrap my left shoulder even further down. And if I was adding my head in and not turning towards camera for my voice, I would look like this, right? So think of your left hip gently moving forward and to the right, even as your left shoulder rolls down to the mat and a little bit towards that back left corner of your mat. Bending the knees, letting go of the strap, I should say, and straightening them all the way out. So hopefully it feels like you got a little left hamstring stretch as well. Now the knees are going to come over to the left. You're going to take that strap or the hand grabs onto the right foot, and you're going to start to push that right heel out. I'm going to have my heel the height of my hip. I tee my right arm out, right? I might even turn my head to the right, and then with this leg lifted a little bit, does that allow me to get that right shoulder to wrap down, right, towards the earth? And breathing from there. Again, imagine that right hip was moving forward and to the left, even as that right shoulder was moving down and kind of settling towards that back corner. If the shoulder doesn't lift, it's still away from the ear. Go ahead and release the leg, the strap, and let those legs extend all the way out. Separate a little bit, arms by the side, pause. See if your body feels any differently than when you came down to the ground. Okay. So the next piece is going to go like this. You're going to roll over onto your right side body. And from there, you don't have my full body in view, but I'm flexing my feet and I'm pushing into an imaginary wall, right? And then I'm going to reach this other arm over. Let me see if I can get further back so you can see me a little better. There it is. Okay. From there, I'm going to grab that left hand with the right wrist. If you need this for support, you can do that. That's okay. Otherwise, I want you to lengthen. So I'm an arrow. I'm a straight arrow, and my left heel pushes down, and I'm lengthening that left arm from my sideways, not from my shoulder, right? And I'm lengthening my whole left side. Now from here, bring the left hand down. You're going to go ahead and I'm going to come a little forward so I have support under my hip. You're going to go ahead and you're going to lift that left leg up, bending the foot and bringing that left heel onto the ground behind the right thigh. Now you can leave the right leg extended or you can bend the knee a little bit, depends on what's comfortable. I like this a little better in my body. If you need support under your head, grab it, use it. Maybe it's that bicep. That left hand's going to come out in front of you, and you're going to go ahead and you're just going to slide the left hand away. So we're doing a little twist here that's hopefully getting into this meaty part of your ribs. And sliding back, adding breath. Let's go ahead and let's exhale it out, moving the hand forward, and inhale, sliding back. And exhale, sliding forward. Now this time when you slide back, I want you to see if you can get this hip to actually move a little further back, and then let it be like I just put a 25-pound weight, a sandbag on it, and go ahead and stretch away from that left hip, kind of gently holding back. I don't want to say moving back, but it's definitely holding. Maybe forehead can make it down to the ground and you can soften everything. Take an inhale into whatever feels like it's stretching. Shouldn't be painful. If it's painful, get out. And drag that hand back. Go ahead and bend the knees. We're going to go ahead and roll onto our belly and do a couple things on our belly, and then we'll do that other side in just a moment. So from your belly, again, I'm going to adjust a little bit. You're going to curl your toes under. You're going to have your elbows wide, and I'm stacking my hands and my forehead comes down. Now I'm going to lift my head so you can hear my voice. You're going to try and keep your forehead down as much as possible so you do not hurt your neck. With the toes curled under, walk the toes towards your hips a little bit and then push your heels back, and you'll feel a little bit of buoyancy in the thighs, right? But now even as the thighs lift, can you pull your pubic bone and your navel forward towards your hands so you feel the low belly toning up and the low back lengthening? So this is what we're going to call neutral, okay? Now on an inhale, we're going to pull the pubic bone all the way up through the navel, through the crown of the head, and lift up into a low cobra type upper body. We know this one, right? It's just a little variation. And exhale, coming down. I don't lose my lower body. I leave my lower body turned on today. Inhale from the front side of that spinal column. Lengthen your low back, through your mid back, through your upper back, through your neck. Don't lead with the chin. And exhale, coming back down. If you feel this in the low back, stay lower, or maybe don't do it. Inhale, pulling right from the front side of the spine so that low belly keeps toning up. That keeps the low back protected, by the way. Exhale, coming on down. We'll do that one more time, and we're going to hold and add on. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let my elbows just slide a couple of inches, not many, to the left, right? I keep pushing the heels back, particularly my right heel, as I slide my belly so that it lines up with my hands and points directly forward, but all the way from the front side of my spinal column, feeling that spine toning up, that low belly toning up and through, so I keep my support system. Hopefully you're feeling the front of the right thigh, hip, kind of up even by the top of my pelvis. I feel it, top of my hip joint. Not joint, my top of my my as is bone. Come back through neutral. Keep the legs turned on. The elbows drag over to the right just a little bit. I don't know, probably maybe 4 inches, not very far at all, right? I push my heels back, especially my left heel, my opposite heel, as I let my belly kind of drag over, forward, and up and through towards the right. And hopefully you're feeling the front of that left hip and thigh. I feel it down here, but I mainly feel it right up through my low abdomen and right up by the top of my as-is bone. Depends on the day for me. Coming back through center. Bring your head down, uncurl your toes, pause. Here's another chance between stimulus and response. There is a pause. And don't be hard on yourself if you do have moments where you snap or you say things. We're all being tested. Me too. I'm in that same place, and I have to catch myself and make sure that I'm coming from love and abundance and not from that fear and scarcity mentality. The pause helps us. Okay, so this one goes something like this. Again, you're going to bring your head down once you get comfortable. I'm going to lift mine so you can hear my voice. You're going to let one knee just kind of drag up, just like we just did on the ground, right? But now we've got a little more weight of the hip coming down into that. And you'll alternate. Then you'll drag the other knee, not drag, slide it up and slide it back down. Right? And this is part of the reason we have the blanket, but you can see even then my blanket is still kind of moving around, but that's okay. Just, you know, as long as you're not getting stuck on anything or getting rug burn on your inner knee, go ahead and just let those legs kind of drag a little bit. And then adding on potentially, you might, the next time the left knee, say, comes up, the left elbow might slide down towards it. And then back through center again. Your forehead would be straight down onto the thing. I'm just trying to keep my voice available. As my right knee comes up, my right elbow is going to slide over, and I get a little side crunch, and I come back through center. And again, maybe you do that a couple of times, keeping the ribs heavy, so I'm not picking my body up to do any of this sliding work. I'm sliding the body on the blanket. And maybe doing that one more time. And then whenever you finish your last time, you'll come back to center and you can unwind the body and readjust thighs or feet or whatever you need to, forehead down on the hands, and breathe. Now you're going to roll onto your left side body. I'm going to change my position so that I'm facing forward towards camera. See if I remember the series that I just invented. What did I start with? Oh, did we start with the arrow? No, we started with something else. Oh, we started with that twist. That's what it was. Okay, so from there, okay guys, I figured it out. Bring that left foot down on the ground. The knee can stay lifted, right? This leg can, no, I did arrow first. Well, we're doing arrow first. I don't know what I did, but we're doing arrow, gall darn it. Arrow, you're an arrow. Flex the feet and push the heels. We'll do both of them. We just might do them in the other order. And as those heels push down, you might reach that right arm overhead. Left hand can grab and support it here. And then think of from right here in your body, moving in 2 different directions to try to lengthen that right side body. And then right hand comes down. I do believe this is the way I did it though. Bring that right foot onto the ground behind you. Again, left leg can be a little bent if that's better. I find for this twist, I'm a little better with my straight leg, but that doesn't mean that works for your body, right? Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bring that right arm out. Shoulder height, not height, but in line with the shoulder. And go ahead and slide that right hand forward. And slide it back. So now you've got the rhythm, right? Or not the rhythm, but you've got the move anyway. And again, hopefully you're starting to feel the back side of the right rib cage get a little bit of a pulling on it, an opening of it. Now the next time you go back, stay back. Let that right hip move back like it's going to fall back towards the earth, right? And then keep it there-ish. It can come forward a little bit, but you're going to lengthen, lengthen, lengthen out away from that now. And just take a breath wherever you feel this stretching. Forehead might come down and rest on the ground. Jaw, neck, tongue, shoulders, all that stuff is soft. And coming back through center. Go ahead and roll over onto your back body. Let those legs extend. That said, feet can totally stay on the ground with the knees bent. That's all good. Check in. And again, here's that pause. So it's easier to do it here on the yoga mat. But hopefully the more we practice it here, the more we can go into our lives. And we are in close quarters, not all of us. I'm alone. I've got a different thing going on, right? Of sometimes wishing I had someone, and then I'm always like, do I? Because if I was in one room, one space with someone 24 hours a day or multiple people, that's a lot to navigate, right? But that's where most of you all are. So speaking to that, right? Again, when someone says something, or does something, or oh, those shoes are here again, pause. Take a breath. Between stimulus and response, there is a pause, there's a moment, so that you can decide how you respond. And even though some of the people were around right now, sound controlling, right? Did you wash your hands? Did you do this? Did you do that? Remember that that is caring. It's not just controlling you. They do care about you. They love you. They're nervous. They're anxious. And this is how they're dealing with it. If you are feeling really comfortable here, I'm going to suggest you just stay here as long as you can. Hopefully the central nervous system feels nice and calm, so enjoy that while you can. If you do need to come up, you can wiggle fingers and toes or scrunch face muscles, stretch arms overhead, any of that stuff that feels good to you. And rolling over to the side, bending the knees for your low back for sure, right? And then when you push that floor away, keeping that neck soft to come on up. And you're gonna come all the way up to sitting. My camera angle is not available for me to sit. I'm a liar. It happens a lot. And either sitting or kneeling or whatever it is that you would like to do here. Just taking just a moment before you go about the rest of your day. Feeling these feelings. And if anything does rise up while you're doing this stuff, yep, there's a lot of grief and sorrow right now. A loss of what was, of the way we thought our life was going to be, of our insurance being taken away, of our friends getting sick, of not seeing people, of not being touched, of not being held, right? Maybe losing someone, literally losing someone to COVID, whatever it might be. It is okay to feel loss and sorrow right now. Don't try to suppress it. It's just going to come back and get you in another way. Let it come up. Let it run through you, right? Emotions are energy in motion. Don't stop the motion. Bring the hands together at the heart. Inhale. Exhale, bowing the heads in. Taking just a moment. Moment of gratitude. Namaste. I love you, friends. Truly.